And I think Canada and the rest of the free world should label them as terrorist party, period. Because that's what the Republican Party is. Terrorists, and they're attacking citizens in the United States, they're attacking citizens around the world, and they have no regard for human trafficking or sexual exploitation, rape, pillage of young girls and boys. Call it what it is. So I'd like to hear comments on that. Cal?
Well, 7 or 8 countries have joined to call for Iran to stop blocking the Straits of Hormuz and have pledged to help the U.S., I guess, if the fighting stops. But here's the thing: where are these people when it isn't an economic issue like oil at stake? Right now, since the ceasefire in Gaza, the Israelis have killed over 1,200 people. They've been bombing them and shooting them every day. Uh, the uh, the minister in charge of the prisons there, Ben Gvir, has made a statement where he says that I think targeted assassinations should be carried out in Gaza, taking down 30 to 40 every night, not just those who pose an imminent threat. Uh, there are people there that are not worthy of life. They shouldn't live. They are not even people. Now, he's also demanding that they be forcibly removed from Gaza to allow, Jewish uh, terrorists to move in and start building houses. I refuse to call them settlers because they're not settlers. They're thieves.
So it's
You know,
it's really pathetic that we allow this to go on, and I think we get to blame the Republican Party of terrorists in the United States for aiding and abetting war crimes against humanity. And let's face it, I'm sure they would grab young girls and boys out of the Gaza and Palestine and send them for human trafficking. I mean, all this has to be investigated. I mean, we can't turn a blind eye to the potential of human trafficking because the Epstein files and the correlation between the terrorist Republican Party and the aiding and abetting of war crimes by the Israelis. We have to start looking under the rocks and making the bold statements that investigations need to be done into this because there is a correlation. There is potentially more going on than what we see, and the world needs to investigate this. The U.S. will not investigate. We need to investigate, and I'm sure the journalists that have been investigating found out what happens if you try to look under the rock. They are targeted by the Israelis, and the United States Republican Party allows the destruction of journalists and the unaliving of journalists because they do not want the truth out there. You can see that they do not want the truth of the Epstein files released. And that's the cornerstone of all empires that needs to be removed. And once the cornerstone is removed, the collapse is imminent. And I think that is very important right now as U.S. citizens need to see that the collapse is imminent. Removing the head is not going to solve the problem. It's a systemic problem that has festered for probably half a century now with the Republican Party, and you see its gradual rise to the situation we're in now. Elbows up, Canada, because we have a lot of influence on world ideas and actions, and it's time that the peacekeeping nation of the North should step forward and say this is enough. Our terrorist cousins to the south have to be stopped. Those that do not embrace terrorism can join Canada. And that has to happen. Hear that loud and clear. There's many states in the U.S. that are very reputable and should be working with Canada to ensure that the Republican states are removed from their power and havoc they're causing around the world. That's my take.
Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and please share the video. Don't be afraid to share this commercial with your friends too.